back to my channel. Today is a very fun video. My light is off. There we go. Okay, so today is a very fun video. So hopefully the camera settings are alright. This is the first time I'm filming with all these settings. I've been playing around with my camera a little bit, trying to figure out the settings that I like to make my videos a little bit better. So hopefully this is okay. So today is another Freaky Friday. I'm very excited. Today we're going to be talking about the incidents at Disneyland and World. While we are turning ourselves into the none other Evil Queen. So I have this little costume set thing that I'm going to be using, but I saw this picture on the internet and I really want to do it. I'm excited to try it, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I would like to start off by saying I have gone to Disney many times in my life, and I do feel it is one of the safest places when you do follow proper protocols and follow the instructions of the cast members, listen to them, and don't act stupid. A lot of these incidents could have been prevented if those people ended up listening and not trying to show off or whatever they were doing. If parents watched their children better, things like that. But there are some incidences that could not have been prevented. There's always going to be a risk whenever you do anything, especially at an amusement park. But I have been going to Disney, and I am 20 years old. I've gone to Disney ever since I could remember, and I've always walked away fine. I have not had any scary incidences. I've never witnessed one, and I don't know anybody that's ever been in one. And I just wanted to put a quick disclaimer that whenever I go, I feel safe and happy, and you know, these things can happen at any time, so always just be wary, but never be afraid. So let's get into the stories. So today we're going to be talking about the creepy facts about Disneyland. Disney is known as the happiest place on earth, and it is to me as well. I love it. It's one of my happiest places, but sometimes that's not always the case for some others. In 1983, an 18-year-old boy fell out of Space Mountain and ended up becoming paralyzed. He did live through it, but was paralyzed completely. Now, this incident was because he did not listen to the cast members and was fooling around, I believe. I was not there at this situation. I am only going by what I have researched. Another incident was in September 2000, only 20 years ago. A 4-year-old boy ended up falling out of the Rogers Rabbit ride in Toontown. This was the spin ride. And he ended up with severe internal injuries. He got cardiac arrest and brain damage after being dragged underneath the car for a good amount of the ride before they could rescue him. Now, this was an issue because the paramedics weren't able to get there right away. Disney ended up changing many of their rules and their policies after this incident to try and prevent it from happening again. But unfortunately, the boy passed away due to his injuries in 2009, so he lived for 9 years after the incident with all of those injuries. That is so sad. It makes me wonder why he fell. What were the parents doing? What were the procedures? What was the cars like? It really does make you wonder. But again, I have been on that Rogers Rabbit ride and felt safe. And if you follow the protocols, if you watch your children, I believe you will be safe as well. So in California Adventureland, the California Screamin' malfunctioned, sending one of the train to the rear end of the other, smashing them. 15 guests were hospitalized after this accident. Again, I'd like to disclaim, I have been on the California Screamin'. It has now been changed to the Incredicoaster. But when I was on the California Screamin', again, I did feel safe. I mean, it was terrifying, but that is the point. There was many incidences of gang violence in the early days of Disney. And going forth, the most recent one was in 2013. So a lot of the gang violence happened in the parks and in the parking lot, such as bombs going off as small explosions, and knife fights resulting in a teen being stabbed in 1981 and a 15-year-old being shot in the parking lot of Disney in 1987. When I say the most recent one happened, that was the bombs going off in trash cans. There was small explosions going off in the trash cans that they ended up catching, and the person that they caught was explaining that they were bombs, and that was in 2013. Wow. Unfortunately, in 1974, a cast member. So now we are moving on to incidences that could not be prevented. So in 1974, a cast member, Debbie Stone, was crushed to death between a rotating wall and a permanent wall in the America Sings attraction. That is scary. One of those rides with the attraction is that it changes scenes by turning. So she must have been standing by one of the permanent walls, and while it rotated, she wasn't able to get out in time. That is terrifying. So Disney has also had many suicides happen. It is the happiest place on earth, and for some others, it is the final destination. Ooh. Suicide is definitely a tough subject. It is a scary subject. It is a triggering subject, and it has happened many times. You would never have expected it at Disney, but it has happened many times at Disney. In 1994, 1996, 1998, 2008, and 2010, there were suicides. They all jumped. 2010 is the most recent one that we know of, but there could be more that have not been reported or that I did not find. I am not going to be mentioning the names or any of those people because 2008 and 2010 is pretty close to now. That's only 13 years ago was the most recent one that I could find. So I'm not going to be mentioning the names. But that is extremely scary, and I would not be able to believe that. Most of them were being jumped out of the hotel rooms. Things like that. So most Disney deaths were due to guests not following the rules and putting themselves in danger, like I said earlier, such as the young boys trying to cross a river ride. So in 1973, two young boys decided that they wanted to get to the other side of the river ride that is since it's been abandoned now. It was one of the water parks, I believe. And they wanted to try and get to the employees only section to fool around. So while they tried to get over, they unfortunately got caught and drowned. They got caught in the ride, drowned, and were found later on. The same thing happened in 1983. 10 years after that one, the same thing happened. Trying to get to the employees only, trying to cross the river, and unfortunately drowned. And the last one that I did find was in 1984. A young woman on the Matterhorn unfastened her seatbelt and fell to her death. Now, there's been plenty of stories about Disney characters being mistreated, Disney customers being mistreated and thrown to jail. I can confirm there is no jail in Disney. There was some other facts about people wondering if there's tunnels in Disney, about the secret tunnels. And there is. There are secret tunnels under the Disney parks, and that is so that the cast members can go through those tunnels without being seen. So that way they can change costume, or they can get to the other side of the park faster without being stopped all the time, and they can take their breaks without having to be in character 24/7. So those are true. Another creepy fact is that in Pirates of the Caribbean, they used to use real skeletons, real human skeletons. But they had to stop that due to safety reasons. But if you go through the ride, the part where it's the bed with all of the treasure, there's a skull that is hanging onto the bed frame. That one is the only human skull left in the ride. So when you see that going on the ride, that one is a real human skull. Freaky. The last thing I'm going to be talking about is some conspiracies that I have heard going around, is that Walt Disney froze himself or froze his head and has been put in Disney so that one day he can come back to life. Now, I do believe that. I believe that he is somewhere. Some people say he's in Pirates. Some people say he's in Space Mountain. Some people say he's in the tunnels. I think that if he was going to be anywhere, he would be in the fire hall, because the fire hall in Disneyland, the top corner window on the second story, was his original office. So I think if you're going to be putting him anywhere, I would put him in his office. But I do believe that it could be possible that he has frozen himself to be resurrected one day, and we might be getting our legend Walt Disney back one day. That would be pretty cool. So these are some of these stories that I have heard, that I have researched, the incidences that have happened. Some of them are very scary, but if you just follow the rules and don't try and fool around, keep your seatbelts on, you shall be safe in Disney. I really hope you enjoyed this little story time, and I hope you enjoy watching the rest of the video. Alrighty, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I am so happy with how this one turned out. This is definitely going to be my favorite look, and I'm so excited to do more ones like these. Let me know what other ones you want to see. We can definitely continue like a Disney series or whatever, but definitely let me know other videos you want to see. I'm so excited about this one. Definitely go check out my other socials. They will all be linked in the description box. I post a variety of content on there as well, but definitely go check out and go like the picture. It is up now. It will mean a lot if you can go like it. But of course, subscribe to the channel for more content, and the story that I said in this video will be written in the description box as well if you'd like to read it, as well as all the sources I used for my findings. And all the products I used in this video will be linked in the description box as well. And I'm gonna go, unfortunately, take a shower and get this off because my aunt is gonna be here in about half an hour, so I gotta go. But I am in love with how this one turned out. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. This took 7 hours. 7 hours, but I am ready to take it off and go get some dinner. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!